In this episode of Dirty Jobs, I want to share with you the new cat litter box design that we swapped out all of our litter boxes for. And this is a new design to us. It's been around for a while, but I think it works really well. And I am experienced at scooping cat litter. And I don't think that scooping cat litter is a big deal if you have a cat, or two, or three. But I'm pretty experienced at scooping cat litter. We recently had a set of circumstances that ended up with us having 11 cats in the house. And for me, 11 cats is a lot of cats and a lot of cat litter. But I'm not entirely unfamiliar with that because I like cats, and we've had cats in our family for decades. And in the past, I ran a cat care facility, a cat condo facility. So when people would go on vacation or business trips, I would take care of their cats. And it was a nice facility where cats had room to roam and a comfortable place. Each cat had its own room and its own litter box. And I would be taking care of up to 20 cats at one time, and that's a lot of cat litter. And I came up with some methods for handling that amount of cat litter. And so when we had an explosion of the number of cats in our house, those days came back to mind. Now, fortunately for us, we were able to find high-quality, loving homes for most of those cats. And so our cat numbers have once again come down to a number that's a bit more reasonable for me to manage. But that brought back the issue of how to handle the cat litter with so many cats. And even if you don't have a whole lot of cats, I think that this litter box really makes the job a lot easier. And I've tried different types of litter boxes, including the complicated newfangled boxes like the Litter Maid machine, which is an electromechanical machine that senses when the cat leaves the litter box and then runs a power rake through it automatically. And that's pretty neat when it works. But the trouble that I had with that kind of box is that cat litter is a dusty, dirty sort of thing, and it gets itself into the mechanism, the channels, and all the gears, and soon the box stops working. And cleaning the crusty cat litter out of the mechanism, well, that's more effort than just scooping the box. And of course, those boxes are pretty expensive, and so that just didn't work out for me. So what I did when I was running the cat care facility is I made a litter sifter. And how I made the litter sifter was really simple. What I did is I made a simple litter sifter out of a couple of empty buckets that the cat litter came in. Take one of the buckets and cut the bottom out of it with a saw. And then in the top of the bucket, I put in 1/4-inch hardware cloth and riveted that to the sides, making, if you will, a funnel. And then I could put this bucket into another bucket. They stack. And I could just pour the cat litter into the top. It would go through the hardware cloth, come out the bottom side, leaving all of the solids behind at the top. And that way, I could just pour the cat litter through that sifter and fairly rapidly separate out all of the cat waste solids from the remaining litter, which could still often be reused for a while. And that worked pretty well. It dramatically reduced the amount of time it took me to scoop out and process all the cat litter. So when we had this explosion of cats come into our family, it made me think of those days and made me think, I need to build a litter sifter, because scooping cat litter for 11 cats, for me, that was a lot. And so that got me thinking about how to build a cat litter sifter system, and got me exploring other kinds of cat litter boxes, thinking there has to be a better way. Well, And of course there is. It's already been made. And the sifting style litter boxes are inexpensive. There's no moving parts. I think they work great, and I think they cut the time of processing the cat litter in half. I really like it. Now, for some people, scooping the litter might not be such a big deal, and if you have just one or two cats, maybe it's no big deal either. But I really like these boxes. I'll show you what it looks like. So let's take a quick look at the litter sifting box. Like a standard litter box, it's just a normal litter box tray. Nothing special about that. And so this would be a typical cat litter box that you would scoop the cat litter out of. But with the sifting box, they include another component, which is the sifter. And it's another tray that's shaped identical to the bottom one, but it has a sifting element in it, a screen, if you will. And so this just simply sits into the litter box. And this way, you fill up with cat litter, and when you want to clean it, you just lift this portion out, and the remaining cat litter falls to the bottom, and the solids stay in this piece, which you can then just toss aside. The bottom of the sifting litter box is simply a litter tray. Nothing special about this. It's just a standard litter tray. But there is a sifting tray that comes with it that fits perfectly into that tray. And then we would pour in our cat litter. So when it comes time to clean it, we can just lift this tray up, give it a little shake, and all of the usable cat litter falls to the bottom, leaving the solids on top that we can easily dispose of. And once we've done that, now we will have this litter tray full of used but still usable litter without the solids. And to get this back on top of the sifting tray, they give us another litter tray that's identical to this one, so we can simply put the sifter into the clean tray and then pour the used but still good cat litter back on top. Here's how I clean the cat box. I start out by just scooping and scraping against the bottom. And I don't make a big deal out of this. I just do a few quick scrapes to make sure that there's nothing stuck to the bottom of the box. That way when I shake it, it works a little better. I just do a quick scrape like so. Then we pick up the spray and just give it a shake. And we have all of the cat solids, which I can just discard. And then, well, put this tray into the lower one, take the top tray, pour the cat litter back in. I scrape out anything that's stuck here. Discard that. And the cat box is cleaned. Now, of course, every once in a while, every few days, I have to replace all of the cat litter with fresh cat litter. But for daily maintenance, I find this kind of litter box to be a real game changer in making the litter box cleanup so much quicker and easier. Let's talk a bit about the litter that I prefer. I think there's a number of good choices out there, and the litter that you choose is going to be a negotiation between you and your cats. But the litter that I like is litter that is good for the cats, good for the environment, and easy to handle. One of the good choices, I think, is wood pellets. You can buy wood pellets that are marketed as cat litter, but I've used wood pellets that are marketed as wood pellet fuel. As far as I can tell, those products are pretty darn similar. And the wood pellets, I think, work well for me because they smell nice, they're environmentally friendly, and they're pretty easy to deal with. And you can use them in the sifting type box, but when you use wood pellets, the process is just a little bit different. And that is when the cats do their business on the wood pellets, the liquids are going to cause the wood pellets to turn into sawdust. And that will fall down through the grates into the lower part of the sifting box. And the cat waste solids will just sit on top of the wood pellets. So if you use wood pellets, you're going to need to go through with a scoop and pick up the solids like you would with a normal cat litter box. Then you can shake the sifter and drop all of the wood sawdust waste down to the bottom and discard that. And the remaining good pellets will remain in the sifter tray. So the process is a little bit different. And I find shaking the wood pellets out and getting them through the sifter to be a little bit more difficult than just shaking standard cat litter. So if you choose to use wood pellets, that might be the environmentally friendly way to go, but it's going to be a little bit more work. And your cats may or may not enjoy the texture of the wood pellets. I'm not a big fan of clumping cat litter. It might be a little bit easier for cleanup, maybe, but with the sifting box, I find the non-clumping litter works really well. And clumping cat litter is some nasty stuff. It turns into a really muddy, mucky, goopy mess. And I find it difficult and dirty to clean up. I also think that cats get that cat litter into their paws, and then they lick their paws, and the clumping cat litter goes inside the cat, and it turns into mucky, gooey, clumpy stuff inside of your cat. That can't be healthy. And so I tend to avoid using the clumping cat litter. My preference is non-clumping, simple cat litter. And fortunately, that's also one of the least expensive choices, and it works great in these sifting boxes. I also seek out cat litter that doesn't have heavy perfume smell, because I know the cats have a much stronger sense of smell than we do. And if I open that stuff and I'm taken back a bit by the level of perfume, I can just imagine how the cats feel about it. So I seek out unscented or lightly scented, non-clumping, standard, simple cat litter. And that works really well for me, and it works well in these sifting boxes. But it doesn't have the same level of odor control as the clumping cat litter. So to address that, here's the kind of cat litter that I really like quite a bit, which is this stuff here. And this is that white silica type cat litter. It is white silica granules that are highly, highly moisture absorbent, and this is about the most expensive kind of cat litter you can buy. You could, of course, just use this stuff straight up if your cat is okay with that, but that would be expensive. And so what I do is I use non-clumping cat litter, and then after I replace all the cat litter with a fresh batch, I'll just take about a cupful or so of this stuff and mix it in, and this provides really excellent moisture and odor control without costing a whole bunch of money by using a large amount of it. I find a cup or so of this into the cat litter box is plenty to give me effective odor and moisture control. And so that's what I'm doing for cat litter, and my cats seem to be perfectly fine with it, and it works well for me. Hope you enjoyed my advice, my experience with this dirty job, and maybe it gives you some direction that you can head in if dealing with your cat boxes is too onerous or odorous. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you'd take a second and give me a thumbs up to let me know and let YouTube know that you appreciated the video. If you like the content on the channel, please consider subscribing so you can find this channel again more easily next time. Click that bell for notifications when new content drops. Hope to catch you again soon on another upcoming video where I describe things around the homestead, audio stuff, cool tools and tips, and other things that I find interesting and amusing. Maybe you do too.